Hi, this is Soulmate Talk. I am your host, Joshua. Um, to the left is my co-host, Latoya. Charles, say hello. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
I'm Latoya Charles. I'm a licensed therapist and relationship coach.
Thank you for being here. This is our first appearance on this show. And our guest tonight is Arina Gubenko.
Hi, everyone.
And tell us a little bit about what you do.
I am a love and relationship coach. I'm a Tantra teacher, holistic aromatherapist. Yeah,
Okay.
all about love.
So we bring you this show because it's our belief that every single person should be in a beautiful, healthy, loving relationship. I believe in soulmates, and there are infinite levels of soulmates. For me, when I say soulmate, I mean the highest version of it, the two people that are one together, perfect love. And I believe every single person should have that. So we bring you this show to give you as much information as possible for you to work on you, for you to have that relationship. Now, tonight's topic is Tantra love. And that's why we have Arina here. She is a Tantra love coach, teacher?
Well, I'm a Tantra teacher, yes.
Okay. A lot of people, when they hear the word Tantra, they automatically think sex.
Mm-hmm.
So tell us a little bit about.
Well, Tantra is actually very ancient, very old system, philosophy, I should say, that comes from Taoism, from Hindu. This is a system of personal development, and sexuality is only 10% of Tantra. Because sexuality is a big part of who we are, that's why it's integrated into our personal power, into our personal development. There are two types of Tantra. There's right hand and left hand Tantra. And
I'm right-handed.
It doesn't matter. It really doesn't.
Okay.
But right tantra, it actually does not address any sexuality at all. And yeah. So there are different variations.
Well, you know,
of it.
you're saying only 10%. Now, is that a true statistic? Is that your opinion? Is that what you were taught?
This is what we were taught. Yes.
So, okay. So in a relationship, how much sex do you bring into it?
Well, it's not how much sex you bring.
Because it's probably more than 10%, I'm guessing.
Excuse me.
Is it more than 10%?
Well, we don't
On a weekly
categorize it
basis.
like that. When you look at the whole system, it's 10% of a personal development.
Okay.
But we tap into our sexual energy, and when I say sexual energy, it's a life force energy
Okay.
at all times, throughout our days, throughout our interactions with others, throughout our conversations with self. We tap into that because it's a creative life force energy. And in Tantra, what we do, because in chakra, there we have 7 chakras, lower chakras have heavier energy. Sacral chakra, root chakra, they have this heavy energy. The goal is to bring that heavy energy up through breathing, through rituals, through sexual experiences, so that the energy flows through our body freely from those lower, heavier chakras all the way to our enlightened mind, right? So it doesn't get stuck there. What happens is when that energy gets stuck,
Get
then
backed
we have
up.
a lot of problems actually in all other chakras.
Yes.
And it doesn't
Yes.
flow freely. That's where the whole personal development aspect of Tantra comes in. Yeah.
Beautiful. And of course, everyone should always be working on themselves to be
Yeah.
their best version of themselves. Now, you're a relationship coach,
I am.
licensed therapist. Now, for you, how much? It's probably more than 10%, correct?
It's about 99%.
The sex?
No, your relationship with yourself.
Oh, okay. I thought you were going to say 99%. Okay. Of course, you have to have a good relationship with yourself. When you're happy with yourself, when you have a healthy love for yourself, it's easy for other people to love you.
And for you to have the relationships that you want, absolutely.
Absolutely, yes. I agree.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's necessary because, again, in Tantra, we believe you don't tap into who you are first and know yourself as an individual, as a human being, and you don't love all parts of you. all the bad and good and the ugly. If you don't love all of that, how can you love another human being without judgment and meet that human being with his or her good, bad, and ugly, and still meet him or her with an open heart, right?
Right.
So everything starts here.
Of course, of course.
So can I ask a question? What's the difference between tantric love and regular love that we do in our day-to-day lives?
Consciousness.
Okay.
It's an aspect of consciousness and awareness. In Tantra, what we do is we bring our full attention, all our senses into the experience. Because in regular modern love...
I'm just, my mind is going places.
What? You want to tell us?
Well, that I like to be present when I'm in intimate settings. You know, the being present, you know, there's a lot of people that have busy lives, and it's like they just want to, you know, rush through it, get, you know, do the
Right.
deed, and
Right.
where you should actually...
Exactly.
And I like the way you put it the other night when you where what was the part of it with the adoration part? Like that's one of my like I
Adoration
always
ritual.
do that when I'm with someone and I love that person. I always let them know everything I love about them, and I like, you know, where you said, you know, doing it with the oils and, you know, taking out time to do it, and then for the partner to do the same. And I absolutely love that.
Yeah, so it's one of the rituals of Tantra is really consciously be present, holding space for your partner, and really focusing on characteristics that you love, and really express what you love about the partner physically, what you love about them on an emotional level, or their personality, or how they show up in life. And really adore them and shower them with, you know, this is a time to give your partner a massage and bring some oils into it and some feathers for gentle touch. And again, it's all based on senses. The idea is because we are sensory beings, we experience world through senses, so we integrate all of that into our experience, and we staying present. How does that feather feel on your skin, right? And it's like it's like a meditation. It's a meditative practice, because you're not thinking about your laundry list or what else how you have to prepare for a meeting tomorrow, or whatever else is going on in your head, in your life. You're staying present in the moment, and it is a form of a meditation with sexual energy.
And I would like to say, when you're with your soulmate, you know, that feeling never goes away. And when you are making love, I mean, your souls actually merge. It's a beautiful, beautiful, amazing experience. So when you're present and you're with your soulmate and you're in that relationship, your souls merge while you are making love.
Yes and no.
Yes and no what?
Well, there are different elements of that experience.
Okay.
And of course, merging of the souls is a big part of tantric teachings. That's ultimately where we want to get to, right? That's where we want to be. And that merging of the soul, we want to happen not only on the sexual experience, but just in every aspect of a relationship.
Right, well, that's why I said in the relationship.
Right, but
And I added the making love.
right. And when we speak, there's misconception. I just want to clarify
Okay.
that many people think that tantric sex is all about that merging and all about that eye gazing and connecting and softness and really connecting heart to heart. Yes, it's a big part of it. But then there are also very primal sexual experiences that we consider tantric too. That
For example?
Well, we consider in Tantra sexual experiences are different on a different level of chakra.
Okay.
So root chakra is close to the earth, right? So you will have those animal, fiery kind of that sex with a lot of groping
Scratches
and scratching and a lot of animalistic, like a Discovery Channel type of, you know, very primal.
Interesting.
And it's still Tantra. It's still
Of
you
course, of
connecting
course.
with another human being on that level, right? And
So you're giving permission to everyone to be animalistic sometimes.
Why are you laughing? And define that. What is an
I don't know. I'm
animalistic?
listening to
We
you.
are
That primal.
animals.
We are.
animals.
What's that song? Doing it like a, no, what, you know the
Oh,
song?
on the Discovery Channel.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
and me, baby, ain't
Yes.
nothing but mammals, so let's do it like we do on the Discovery
There you
Channel.
go. Yeah. Okay, so that's what you're referring to.
Exactly.
Okay.
It's just that merging, that passion, that kind of like, roar, you know? And it's still Tantra.
That's interesting because I'm not familiar with Tantra at all. So when I did the research online, it did not seem to be the way you're describing it now.
Yeah, well, what you see, I did extensive teachings.
Okay.
And yeah, I studied it in detail, and I really.
And you've
dedicated-
experienced it.
Yes, and I work with clients also. I have private practice. So but on the sacral chakra, that's where you see those more connection is now being made, and more merging, and the juiciness, deliciousness, and wetness, and connecting.
Oh, gosh. Okay,
Then
hold
it's,
on.
and really connecting to another human being, right? So there's a humanity element to it now.
So is the energy flowing through your chakras?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, that's
Okay.
where the consciousness awareness comes in. When you move up to your solar plexus chakra, tantric sex is more like power, like that submissive dominant, where you get into this S&M and even it gets very dominating, very kind of like, "Grr." But again, it's based on conscious connection, trust.
You know, and I thought you were serious that you were going to bring handcuffs and whips and stuff. And I got nervous.
Why?
Well, because I know, not me, I'm not saying me, but there are people out there that might get nervous if they get handcuffed during something that they can't break
Yeah.
out.
Yeah.
I know you're saying trust, but what if the person just falls asleep and now you're all handcuffed and you have to go to the restroom? Right? People have that fear, I think.
I would think
That
twice
was
who
not
you
one of
with.
my fears.
I would think twice about who you with, and you know.
Right.
In Tantra, it's all about trust.
Of course, of course.
It's about not so much. It's about surrendering. It's surrendering to your partner.
That I would have a hard time with.
So you would have
That
a
one I
hard
would
time
have a
with
hard time with.
with
But that's
handcuffs.
control.
No, with
Oh.
surrendering.
Really?
Yes.
Are you saying you're a control freak?
I wouldn't say that I'm a control freak, but it's such an intimate experience to fully and truly let go and to surrender to someone else.
But that's beautiful. Well, when you're with your soulmate, that's the beautiful part of it.
But I think a lot of people are scared of that.
Of
and
course
that's
they
why
are.
a lot of people don't go to that level of depth when they're
Right,
having sex.
because
Exactly.
and you know what, and a
Exactly.
large portion of that is that most people don't have that relationship with themselves first,
True.
and yeah. So what are you going to do to work on you?
What am I going to do to work on?
Oh,
me?
not that you're on camera or anything, or telling the audience. Well, you think about that for a moment. But so you're saying that you would have difficulty really letting go.
I would.
Interesting.
I think it's a little scary. It's a little vulnerable. And I think that's a lot of the clients that I work with.
And this is very common.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is very common, and that's why this practice of Tantra is so deep. It reaches to the core of who we are, deep in our heart, deep in our soul, where it's asking us to give up the stuff. What is stuff? Control, manipulation.
Right.
You know, all the things that we see in the relationship, power struggles. You know, and then having, let's say, going back to that solar plexus experience, sexual experience of dominant and submissive, there's a difference how you surrender. When you surrender to someone, you're saying to yourself, I'm surrendering to you, but I know you got this. You got this.
And that's a beautiful, beautiful
I
feeling.
know you got this.
When you're with someone that you absolutely trust and that trusts you,
Yeah.
and the love is there, it's beautiful. You're not even thinking about it. It just comes natural. Everything comes natural.
And going deeper with that, whatever comes up.
I go very deep.
Good. So whatever comes up for me at that level, when I'm handcuffs or when I'm struggling
I'm
with that.
not going
You're
to let
still not
anyone.
with the
I'm not going to
handcuffs.
let anyone handcuff me.
Yeah.
Rarely. Even though you trust completely, you're not letting anyone
Yeah.
handcuff you.
You know what? We'll think about that.
Yeah.
But
Let me just finish.
Okay.
the
Yes.
thought.
Yes. I just don't want to be handcuffed right now. Yes.
Okay, handcuffs, please, to the studio.
Christine always carries a pair.
Oh, okay, all right. That's good to know. But also, it's very empowering for another person who you surrender to. When somebody surrenders to me on that level, trusting me to handle all their emotions, because in Tantra, anything, when you open yourself up on that level, emotions come up.
Oh, yeah.
Feelings
I
come
tend
up.
to cry.
Release. You don't know what can come up and how a
Yeah.
person can react. But
Right.
a person who trusts me to hold the space and handle him or her completely and totally, that's empowering to me.
Absolutely.
That's where power is. Not to handcuff you and to show my power over you, but to have that power deep in my heart of knowing that you trust me on that level. That is power. And that's it's a distinction.
Oh, absolutely.
Huge
Absolutely.
distinction. And me surrendering to you, also knowing you got me, and I know whatever comes up for me, if I'm going to start crying or tears, you will handle it. You will know how to handle me. And if you know your partner on that level, do you think you will still have control? You will still struggle with that?
I probably won't. But I would have to trust that the person will know how to deal with everything that comes
takes
up.
time.
A lot of people don't.
Well, that's why we're sharing with the audience is to always work on themselves, bring that forgiveness. Don't bring the baggage and the trauma into the next relationship. Always work on it. If you can't get rid of the baggage, at least bring yourself to where you're dealing with it properly without bringing it into the next relationship for that interference. When you're working on yourself, you do the forgiveness, and when you have that self-love, you're now vibrating on a higher frequency to attract someone who's already worked on themselves, who's bringing that higher energy into the relationship.
Right.
So, and that's where you'll get those higher vibrating people to have a beautiful relationship with.
I absolutely agree. I just don't know how many people are doing that kind of work on themselves.
They're not, and that's why we're here, and that's what we're doing. And this is the information we're giving people, and the clients that you work with, you're giving them what they need.
Yeah,
You still have your black string on.
I do.
Interesting. That must stay on until
Day 2.
yes, day 2.
Yeah. It's very deep work. It takes time. It takes, again, Tantra is a personal development journey.
So are you saying if someone hasn't worked on themselves and they haven't let go of all their baggage and everything they might be carrying with them, they won't be able to get to that level, to that experience?
Well, we always work on ourselves.
Yeah.
We're always peeling layers. I think every single day an experience is a new experience. We really don't know sometimes. We carry stuff in our DNA from our ancestors that are not even our energies.
But we
Right,
could
right,
get rid
right.
of it and change it like this.
Right. But also it takes work, it takes consciousness, it takes awareness. Yes, you will be having tantric orgasms and tantric experiences, and you will be having, if you invest in it, you'll be opening up more and more and more, and with each experience you will be able to take it to a higher level. But again, it's a dedication, like anything else, any spiritual practice. It's a dedication to it.
You mentioned orgasms.
Mm-hmm.
Now, as a man, I think I could share this on television, I guess. And this is my vulnerability sharing, but I am able to have multiple orgasms without actually
All the ladies, listen carefully.
without actually ejaculating. So, and I can go, and for me, I'll only do that when I am in a truly loving relationship. When I love the person loves me, that's when I'll do it. I try not to let any woman just jump all over me. But you guys can be very aggressive at times. No, that's
We
a
can
joke,
be very
everyone. No, that's
aggressive.
a joke. That's a joke.
And you hate it.
Anyway, so I'm able to, like, for me, I'll go 4 days without actually, and then on the fourth
Very
day, that's the world is just everything. Can't really put into words the feeling. But yeah, I just thought I'd share that because you mentioned orgasm.
Well, that's tantric here.
And I never knew anything about tantra. That for me, it just came natural. So.
And it's possible to have orgasm in on different levels.
Yeah, absolutely.
Excuse me. When you experience connection, this kind of connections, everything can be orgasmic. Tasting a strawberry
That's true.
and
Chocolate.
deliciousness and chocolate and the experience and bringing all the senses to it, that could be orgasmic. You know, what is orgasm really? It's the ultimate pleasure of experiencing ultimate pleasure. So orgasm in Tantra is also not very much defined as that 3-second experience that everybody
Only 3 seconds?
what is the general number of the orgasmic experience with people? Was it
I don't
3,
know.
4, 5 seconds?
I don't know.
I heard it can go longer in tantric sex.
In
though.
Tantra, yes. I'm talking
So you're
about
the regular
yes.
people.
Okay.
So how long is it for regular people?
That's what I'm saying. It's only 3, 4, 5 second
Really?
experience.
Interesting.
Regular, yeah.
But you're talking about
And
the
there's nothing
actual
wrong with
climax,
that.
not the
You're
build
talking about
up.
the
climax.
actual
Right.
climax, right?
And it's nothing. There's nothing wrong with
No,
that.
no, of
You
course
have
not.
that. You know, even when you practice tantric sexual, there are things come up at certain triggers, and you will have that experience. The most important not to judge it, because in tantra we have practice of non-ejaculation. It's a very advanced practice for men, where of course, and a lot of people don't know that actually orgasm and ejaculation are two different events for men. They're not together. They also always perceived as together, but actually it's two different things.
But I think most people
biologically.
do have that at the same time.
One after another. No,
Oh,
it's
okay.
biologically, if you actually, on a biological level, it's two different events. So in non-ejaculation, we do through rituals of breathing and stopping, and it's a practice. again.
Stopping is very good.
Yes.
I
That's what you
enjoy
Stopping,
practice.
breathing.
What's that?
That's what you practice.
Occasionally, yeah,
Okay.
sure.
Yeah. And I work with clients who suffer, from premature ejaculation, and there are some powerful practices actually that are in place in Tantra to help people with this. And again, going back to identifying what tantric orgasm is having full body orgasms without ejaculation. So
Okay.
actually having orgasms one after
That's-
another, and for female too, on different levels. Yeah.
So that's what I was saying. Like I'm able to have the multiple orgasms without the ejaculation. So I don't have to stop. I could just keep going.
For 4 days.
Yes.
Okay.
But there's again going back to
Man, I don't always wait 4 days.
I've learned so much about you
But see,
today.
I thought the point of it was to climax. So is
But
it
the orgasm is amazing. When your whole
when you hold it in for so long?
you know what it is, right? No, I'm having the
You
orgasm.
know what it is, right?
I would hope so.
I'm having the orgasms, but without the
Without the ejaculation.
yes.
What is that?
But the visual. The audience need visuals. So you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Is it as powerful? Is it?
Oh my God, yes.
Okay.
Absolutely. And by the way, you know what? Everything is here and here. What the mind imagines, the body feels. What the mind imagines, the body realizes. And what do you want to say, Irina?
No,
Because
I
you
agree
can
with you, but again,
you
going
can
back-
just with your mind have an orgasm.
Yes.
Absolutely.
It's all in the mind and heart. But what I want to say also, when you practice this, when you get into this kind of practices, you want to have a partner who is also understanding. For men, I'm talking about for men, because when what happens usually when man is with a woman and practice this kind of tantric sex, and woman has no idea what's happening, women can get offended, and that had
You mean
happened.
by not climax?
Right. No,
'Cause
she could say, "What's going on? I can't satisfy
Right,
you."
yes,
Why
and
are
that-
you
that
not-"
was-
So if you're not
Right.
aware, if your partner, so that's where also in Tantra, a huge part of Tantra is communication.
Yes, yes.
So, if you,
But, you know-
get into the practice, and let's say you with a new partner who doesn't know what Tantra is, doesn't practice, slowly start talking about this thing. See and you don't want to get into this immediately. You also want to meet that partner on a level where you both agree, and then work from there, right? You want to have that openness, and that partner has to receive your practices, and it's a very yin and yang, right? So it goes back and forth, giving and receiving. So both have to be on the same page.
Yes, and I have younger. I was with a 21-year-old, and I was younger at the time. I'm 29 now. I don't see the humor.
Continue.
Thank you, co-host. And and I would do the 4-day thing. And of course, she was having an amazing time. But then after a little bit, she was getting concerned that she wasn't doing what she could do for me to. But I explained it to her. So even though you communicate, there's still stuff happens. And it's all, and a lot of times it all depends on that time of month as well, because the the chemistry.
Time a month for who? For men?
No, for the woman. The menstrual
like men
cycle.
have a time a month?
No, well, no,
Okay.
but they have to deal with that time of the month when they're in a relationship.
Says
Do you
who?
wait? What do you mean?
Why do you have to deal with anything?
Well,
How does that interfere with anything?
I'm not. I'm not. This is not my opinion. I didn't say this. I've just. They say that women can be extremely. What's a good word? You're a therapist.
You tell me.
Oh, now you're scrambling for someone to say.
Well,
you.
I don't want to say crazy because that's not like a good term, right?
I was thinking aggressive, but even that's not right. Moody, emotional, hormonal.
I like the word crazy. But I mean, no. That's not me. I'm not saying they say it.
They say
Research.
that women can be crazy.
Can
during
be
that
or
time.
are
But also
during that time of month.
Also-
How are you?
I'm the same way I am every day.
Really? Are you sure?
But I'm a Scorpio, so I'm crazy all the time.
Great
Yeah.
answer. I love that answer. That's a beautiful answer. Yeah.
Scorpio, very interesting. And you are a Gemini.
Yeah.
What sign do you prefer?
I know what I don't prefer.
You know what? Me too. I do too. And I'm not going to say the sign, but you can.
Yeah.
You could say it.
No.
No, go ahead.
No.
Whisper it to me.
No.
What
I
sign?
can't say that.
No, I won't. I won't share it.
No.
Write it down.
No.
Do you have a favorite sign or a sign that you would avoid?
I think I sometimes avoid Libras.
Get out.
Yeah.
Why?
Oh, you're a Libra. I'm so sorry.
Oh.
I didn't mean that intentionally.
Really? I don't. I think she did.
I meant Libra women.
Libra women.
Men,
Okay.
I haven't had too many experiences with.
Well, I'm a Libra man, everyone. For those interested.
I also avoid Virgo men.
Interesting.
Yeah, they tend to be a little too picky for me.
Too critical, too.
Too
right?
critical.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
But a lot of Libra women, September Libra women, actually have a lot of those Virgo traits.
I don't know. I feel like Scorpios, we don't connect well with everyone. So we're very picky about who we spend
Interesting.
time with and who we open up to.
It's a
Because we
very
don't
deep
open up
sign.
to people.
It's
We're
very
very
deep.
deep. We're
They're
very,
very
very deep.
My daughter's a Scorpio.
Oh boy.
And see, that's
Deep
where
people,
that's where
and-
sex
and-
can be difficult though, because we have so many walls up. So it takes a lot for you to be able to get to the point of really breaking down those walls.
You know what? You're with
For
the
me.
right. If you're with the right person, and all the ingredients are there, and the communication, the trust, the mutual respect. When you have all those ingredients, it's not even the walls. They're not even there
You're not
anymore.
even
They just
thinking about it.
disappear. Yeah.
If I approach you from my heart, and people know when you approach them from,
Mm-hmm.
even in our relationships with coworkers, friends, people on the street, they know when you approach them from the heart, or you're just in your mind all the
Right.
time, right? Or even your interaction on a train with somebody could be, are you coming from the heart? Or are you coming from your head? And sometimes we do come from our heads because like you mentioned, on the day we having, it could be multiple of factors, but if somebody approaches you, that energy is there, and you can feel it and you can sense it. So
And
what
that
it
would
does
scare the
to
hell out of
you-
me.
Really.
At least in the past it would. See, the type
In the
of work
past.
in the past.
Okay.
The type of work I do, obviously I do that work because I had things I need to work on myself. So in
We
the
all do.
past,
It's interesting. This isn't my belief. I just want to go on record. But they say that
Who is
actually,
they? When you say
actually,
they, I don't
they
know.
say that the craziest. No, wait. Who becomes therapists? What?
people for you to work with crazy people, you have to be crazy yourself.
No, I don't think that's it. I think they're the craziest. That's what they say. I don't say it.
Who is they?
They
You
say a
prefer
lot.
it.
You research it.
No, I don't know.
Google
I am
they.
not.
Google
But
what
I
they
do
say.
know-
Google what they say.
Okay. So I'll do that, but I want to go back to the sexuality at that time of the month, and it has absolutely no effect on female sexuality.
Oh no, I know.
Absolutely
Actually, a lot of
not.
women actually become more what's
Sexual.
the H word? Okay. Yes.
You're going to say horny?
You're allowed to say horny on TV?
You said the
it
H
3
word.
times. I
What
mean,
other
so
H
wait.
word is there?
Okay. Well, yes, a lot of women are. extremely,
And again, that takes communication. And
absolutely.
you mentioned before perfect relationship, and
I like the word perfect.
right. And in Tantra, we don't categorize anything in bag. Like we don't put anything in categories,
Good,
right?
good.
Because what's perfect for you might be what's perfect for her, different from what's perfect for and me. What's
Right.
perfect? It's what's perfect for both of you, right? It's there's no perfect. We're not comparing ourselves to some standard or some level that this is where we have to be, because again, that's categorizing something love into boxes and attaching things to it that shouldn't be there. That's what creates conflicts in the
Right,
first place,
right.
right?
Okay.
And what's normal for one couple to have exclusive committed relationship is normal to have a polyamorous relationship for another couple.
Well, I'm going to say
Yeah?
yes, it's okay for people if that's truly okay for them, but I don't think that most people can handle a polyamorous relationship.
Open relationship.
No.
Yeah, open relationship. And I know there's a lot of people that, that swear by it. You know, there's, what's that word? Swingers. There's a lot of swingers, and they're, I don't, I couldn't do it.
It's you.
Yes, I know. Probably, I'm on record, I'm not a prude, but I think by your standards, I would be a prude.
I don't have a standard.
I think you do.
No, I have none. Actually,
sure?
I accept people for who they are.
Okay.
You know what? For me to say, who am I to say? Let's say if I hold certain beliefs, right? And I hold the belief that okay, I prefer committed relationship, exclusive relationship. Who am I to say that she cannot go and do whatever she is? You know,
exactly.
Her belief and her, it's different.
Yeah, no, without judging. I don't judge. That's what I'm
Right?
saying. If it's truly okay for a person or a couple to do that, then
Exactly.
perfect. Perfect for
Exactly.
them. But I do believe that even when they have the communication, and I know a lot of couples that have, brought someone in and then there was disasters because even with the communication, it's not
What kind
true.
of
Right, it's not true communication, but there's all those feelings, the insecurities, and then is the man paying more attention to the woman they just brought in and stuff like that? And then there's all kinds of and then there's things that go on in the back of the head, and then it interferes with
That's
trust.
why do not do it if you're not both ready for it.
Exactly.
And in Tantra, what I teach is communication.
Right.
A way of holding space for somebody, of receiving information that's coming to you, a way of giving information to somebody, where and how we communicate to our partners, that it doesn't create and doesn't trigger all these things.
Right,
And
right.
again, it doesn't happen overnight.
Right.
It takes time to build this kind of connection. So when we communicate, are we communicating on the scratching the surface level? Are we really deeply communicating and expressing to each other and really finding a way that works with both of us? Are we discussing all those things that can come up for you and me? A lot of people don't.
Right.
And that's where that
So
stuff
in my
happens.
opinion, when you're with your soulmate, when you're in that beautiful, perfect, healthy, loving relationship, I know when I'm in a relationship, I don't even look at anyone else.
Right.
I lose the attraction for anyone else. I am committed to that person.
I'm the same way.
Are you really?
Yeah, I don't want anyone else. Why are you surprised? Because I'm a Scorpio?
Yes.
And what does that mean?
You tell me. You know about Scorpios.
Ooh, putting labels.
I know.
So
I
they
don't.
say
I don't like. I don't.
judging. Oh,
What do they
No,
say about
no.
Scorpios?
They say a lot about Scorpios, actually. but
Again, they-
We'll
And
talk
Scorpios
after.
tend to be the freakier signs, right?
The freak, yes.
They're sexual.
We
Very.
are very sexual.
Very.
But with one person.
Beautiful. Sign.
With yourself? Is that what you just said? Wait, what did you just say?
With one person.
Oh, yes.
With one person.
And I don't think a lot of people can handle it, because even if you have up to whatever point, because I know you had mentioned like 10 years, 20 years into a marriage, and to spice it up, I believe if you're with your soulmate, that spiciness never goes away. And a lot of people think I may sound
Have you-
idealistic.
So have you actually experienced that? Like those feelings never go away?
Correct.
Okay.
So have you been in a relationship for 20 years with someone?
You mean like
20
like
years? Or
in the
10 years?
well?
Because you're 29, right?
Yes, thank you. So when I was 9 years old, yes, when I was 9. Anyway, no, not yet. Not the whole distance, like with a marriage or anything. But I'm still very good friends with a lot of relationships that I've had. and we've had on deep levels. So, but all the ingredients are not there for whatever reason. I'm going to say that and it sounds idealistic, but you know what? That's me, and that's how I feel. But I think that if 20 years into a relationship, which I haven't been in a 20-year relationship, but if the man approached the wife and said, you know what I'm thinking about, and you're saying it's a slow process. Okay, so that slowly, the moment he says, let's try, let's experiment, or she says it to him, they're automatically going to think that they're not enough, that
There's
they don't,
something's wrong with
right,
them.
that there's
But
something
again,
wrong.
that's why Tantra is a personal development journey. It's a journey. It's not a quick fix. It takes dedication, trust, communication, honesty. Honesty, huge part. Being able to express and be received without judgment. It
Okay.
doesn't happen. Things will come up. You will have to work through things.
Okay.
And it's a freedom of the soul. It's a freedom of the mind to be able to communicate to someone your desires. And a lot of times when we express fantasies, because people walk around with fantasies, they're afraid to share with their partner for fear of to be judged. Oh, he or she's going to think I'm some kind of freak. I'm having these fantasies. But you know what? A lot of times when we share and our partner receives those fantasies, we lose desire to act on them. In
Interesting.
Tantra, I see a lot of that happening. When people fully can express and be received for who they are, and their partner doesn't judge them and still loves them, they're like, okay, well,
So
it doesn't interest me anymore.
we're going to get to
a lot of times, not.
We're going to get to fantasies in a moment, but what I want to put out there for the audience, I'd like to hear your opinions on. You could contact us through the studio, but I'd like to hear if you agree with having multiple partners to spice things up, if it would be okay, or how you would handle it, or if you are in an open relationship. I'd like to hear from you and get some information, some feedback.
I'll be curious too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's always different. I always the truth is in the eye of a beholder. It's what you hold is what you believe, and if I hold your beliefs, I will believe the same thing you believe. So it is what it is. It's just that's how we
Okay.
approach and how we receive each other.
So, what is your favorite fantasy?
My favorite fantasy?
Yes.
I don't have a favorite per se, but what my ultimate perfect relationship is to be free in my soul and not to feel constricted by anybody, to pursue my dreams, pursue my goals.
Awesome.
For my partner to receive me as I am, and freedom to love and be loved, and freedom within a relationship. For me, this is the perfection.
Right. I agree. I definitely like freedom. I do not like to be told what to do.
And you don't like handcuffs. That's why you don't like handcuffs. You don't like to be controlled.
Well, okay, so what is your favorite fantasy?
Now we're getting to the bottom of this.
Yeah, let's get to the
that.
bottom of this.
I'm
I
a
like
therapist.
that.
That's what I do.
Okay, so what is your favorite fantasy?
I don't know that I have one, to be honest.
No fetishes as a Scorpio?
I would say sex on the beach, but I've done that already. So,
Interesting.
yeah.
So you check that off your list.
Check it off the list.
Okay, excellent. Well, my fetish is love. I love love.
How's that a fetish?
I don't know. I don't have any. That's it. I just love love. That's what excites me.
And
Love.
what is love to you?
Well, I'm the host, so I would like to ask you first.
Sorry, I'm still getting over.
For me, love. It's when two people are in a beautiful, healthy love, and always say healthy, loving relationship.
That's important.
It's all the ingredients. It's that adoration. It's that the mutual respect, the kindness, both wanting the other person to be happy and happy knowing that the other person is happy. Someone who always has your back and you have that person's back, that support. And by the way, we'll talk about lists in a moment. So you'll remind me about lists?
I will.
Okay. So what is love to you?
For me, love is a beautiful energy that you radiate from your heart, and that's in Tantra. Heart is a huge center where spirituality meets our human form. That's where everything merges. And for me, love is that beautiful energy that you radiate into your body and into the world. That is a pure bliss. That's what love to me. And actually, going back to the chakra, remember we spoke about, like, we stopped at the solar plexus, but when you actually start making love on a level of heart chakra, that's when you see a lot of merging, connection, a lot of emotion.
So that's why you said no. That's why you said yes and no, because it has to come from the heart chakra for that merging to occur.
Yeah.
See, I thought anytime you had sex with someone, you were bonding with them, you were merging with them
You're
in some
bonding
way.
with another
You
human
are.
being,
Right.
but are you present in that experience? That's
Sometimes
where
I'm not.
a lot of
Sometimes I'm not.
Where are you?
Sometimes I'm having sex. I'm thinking about what I'm having for dinner.
Interesting.
we all guilty of that. Yeah. Or when sometimes we put a goal. Okay, I need to get to this finish line, right? I
Or
need
when is it
have
going
this
to end?
orgasm. So let's chase to the finish.
Yes.
So we have this goal, and that's why in Tantra we have lingam and yoni massages, which is it's a beautiful, juicy, very healing practice, also used to heal traumas and stuff. But a lot of times when you tell a person there's no goal, there's no agenda here to get aroused, just enjoy receiving this beautiful practice. People don't understand. What do you mean? I need to do something. I need to get
We
something.
feel like we
What do you
need
mean
to.
there's no
Yeah.
expectation? So that's what happens a lot of times when we start having sex. There's expectation. Oh, I
There's
need to have
always
this
an
orgasm.
expectation.
We put that expectation, and then we wonder why we're having problems in the relationship, because that person's expectations could be very different from ours, and they receive us very differently, and that's where problems and conflicts start to happen. Yeah.
Why are you looking at me?
What, do you,
You look like you had a question for me.
what is love to you?
What is love for me? I don't. It's a connection. It's on multiple levels. So I think of it mostly on a spiritual level, but also an emotional level. When you feel that deep sense of connection to someone else, when you're willing to do any and everything for that person.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now you say you speak a lot about masculine energy, feminine energy. Want to share a little bit about what would be important or what the audience might need to know about some of that? Because I know that a lot of times, like right now, there's like an assault on men right now.
We're at war with one another.
And it shouldn't be that way. It shouldn't be that way.
A lot of things shouldn't be, but
Right.
they are.
Right.
And that's what we try to change, right? By working on ourselves and taking care of ourselves and radiating that into the world. As more we, touch more people change, more people relationship starts to change. But going back to masculine, feminine, I have my masculine god here, Shiva. I brought him all the way from India. Shakti is the feminine, as you know, and Shiva is masculine. And in Tantra, we work with masculine and feminine polarities. And it's really, yes, it's gender dominant, because men have more masculine, of course, and women have more feminine. But we all have that,
Of course.
independent of gender.
Right.
What happens is feminine is that expression. It's expression, it's nurturing, it's love, it's emotion, it's really making things possible, right? And masculine is a beautiful direct energy, okay, that is embracing life for all there is, okay? It's that direct approach of, I'll be here, I'll make it, I'll do it, I'll hold the space. We need both. Like we right now speaking here, we're sitting in the studio. It's direct. We're trying to get the message to our audience. We're all tapping into a masculine, because it's a direct approach. I'm giving you message, right? But if I start feeling emotions and expressing my personal feelings and how I feel, I'm tapping into feminine. And a lot of times people don't know how to make that distinction, or women take on a lot of masculine direct energy, and it's beautiful with feminism. What feminism did is actually brought great changes, but at the same time, women became very masculine, and they don't know when they come home to a partner how to strip that off and leave that polarity at work and bring that feminine energy in of expression and softness. Sometimes it's not so soft, women, we mother earth, we mothering earth, right? So mother earth is not always gentle.
Right.
So but we have that expression. It's all about that expression and relating to our partner. So, and if we still having that direct energy all the time, then men in our life perceive it as competitive energy. It's on the primal level being perceived like, okay, so I'm bumping in against masculine here. So what happens is you out of tune.
So someone has to surrender.
It has to start
So
somewhere.
what suggestions could you give the audience for the women to really, maybe are there some exercise or something they could do, like a technique that will allow them to shed the masculine, at least when they're in the presence, when they come home, or whatever it may be?
Well, first of all, presence. Take a couple of moments to breathe, really. And essential oils are beautiful. I always recommend essential oils because they carry yin and yang energies, and a lot of essential oils are very feminine oils. They just have that feminine component to it. I recommend using essential oils. I recommend bringing flowers. I really doing breathing practices. So kind of being aware of that you're a woman and you're more powerful as a woman.
Yeah,
You don't
I love a
need to
strong,
be-
confident woman.
But
Yeah.
sometimes it's
and,
too much.
and intelligent, but at the same time knows how to be feminine and appreciate her femininity.
But that's, again, it's awareness of polarity.
It's
Right.
the balance.
Like if I'm not aware how I'm communicating with you right now, I can't change that about
Right.
me. And that's where a lot of women say, well, what is it that I have to change? But partner can't even understand what is it that bothers them in their partner, but it's having an understanding. Okay, well, and men, what happens with men because of conditioning, because of shaming, because of cultural expectation, religion, because they have to be always this direct, they don't express anymore. They don't tap into that
Right.
feminine in them. And women always complain, you're
This is
not
true.
I'm going to go
vulnerable
on
with me."
record.
This is true.
I always
Yeah.
tap the feminine.
But that's
Well,
what
this
creates
is
a
you.
balance.
You're different.
thank
99%
you.
of men aren't like that.
Oh.
And that's what they
Well,
have
thank
it.
you for noticing.
Can I just change that? We all have a potential. We all
Yes,
have
of
that
course,
in us,
everyone.
but we suppress it.
Right.
Just like women suppress our feminine,
Right.
and we feel like we need to be direct all the time. Men suppress their feminine in a way that they don't express to their partner.
Right.
They don't communicate. I call it.
Oh, I communicate.
They shut down and they go to a man cave, or they hide, or they run because of they
And
can't
that's what
deal with
causes
things
problems in the
inside.
relationship.
Yeah.
And that's when people come see me.
Yeah. And they're afraid to be vulnerable. They don't know how to
Absolutely.
express, how to communicate. They just don't know. And they're afraid that if they expose their vulnerability, they're going to experience deep pain.
So
I ju-
men and women essentially have the same struggle.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. But I do want to say
Go
for
ahead.
men, where Irina's saying, to let go and to be, tap into the feminine and be more vulnerable. But you know what? Do not be vulnerable with the wrong person.
Absolutely.
You have,
Oh, well,
you have to,
absolutely.
but no, because a lot of people take that suggestion and like when you tell someone, oh, you have to, you have to be honest, you have to communicate, and then they're just beginning a relationship and they're saying all these things, and it's like, oh, you just destroyed the relationship before it even began. So.
But that means you might not be with the right person.
Exactly.
So
absolutely.
how do you know the right person? You believe in soulmates and perfect love and perfect
I do.
relationships.
Well, I also believe in getting to know a person, becoming friends, because that's very important for any relationship to truly love one another's company,
Right.
and to be friends, best friends.
So you
Did I
wanted
answer
to talk
you?
about list. Yes, you did answer.
Oh, the list,
You
the
wanted to talk
list.
about
Okay.
list.
Well, I always have people that are looking for their soulmates to always work on yourself, do the self-love, the forgiveness. But I have them write a list of everything that they want in a partner, absolutely everything. And write a list of everything you have to offer, what you're bringing to the table, what you have to offer your partner. Also write a list of all the deal breakers, things that you will not accept, and you can never go against your deal breakers. And I know you don't like this, but write a list of previous relationships, what went wrong, why it didn't work, what was your role, to examine, to really work on you to find out what is going on, what you're attracting, what you're accepting, what you're, because a lot of people see the red flags, and when they're in a relationship, even they just brush it aside or push it off. And I don't think you should ever ignore red flags. Sometimes it could be in your mind. Sometimes it could be in your mind, depending on you. And if you do have insecurities, work on that before you get into a relationship. Because absolutely, insecurities, jealousy will interfere across the board. It'll interfere with your entire life. And when you're in a beautiful, healthy, loving relationship, everything else in the world just becomes so much easier. I'm googly-eyed over, that's...
Yeah.
So the list, you don't like the list? Because
not that I don't like it.
I was speaking to someone recently in Florida. He's going to be my guest when I do the show in Florida. And he said, throw out the list. He doesn't believe in the list. Oh, you don't like?
No, I believe in a list. I have clients do a list, but I've heard people say don't.
Right.
Okay.
Because of expectations?
In Tantra, is a liberated way of living.
Okay.
We get rid of any lists or any boxes that we categorize or put people in. So we have a liberated way of thinking.
Okay.
And for that, all that list can be summarized in one single aspect.
What is it?
How do you want to feel when you're with a person?
Okay.
But wouldn't that be a list? A list of words?
No, it's a feeling. I'm imagining the feeling I want to have when I'm next to someone.
Oh, you're imagining the feeling. You're calling in the feeling.
Oh, I'm internalizing it.
Okay.
I know how I want to be with a partner, how I want to feel when I'm with somebody. So I know that. I embody that.
And that's how you attract it.
I trust it. So I don't need a list. I know nobody's perfect. I know everybody works on their insecurities just like I'm working on mine. So for each person, it's so different. And we'll see how we match and how we merge. And if we can make this happen or not. Time will tell. But I do agree with you not to ignore red flags. And there's something that is hurting you and something that is making you feel constricted. It's about expansion, not constriction. Right. If you feel constricted, that's a first sign that this is not for you.
Okay, I think, I'm never good at the end of the show, like wrapping up, because I never know when I'm supposed to or when we're supposed to stop talking. I know I get the signal for 5 minutes. I just never get it right. So
it's okay.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Any
Nobody's perfect.
Any last thoughts?
Come back to me. Let me think about it.
Okay, we'll come back to you. Any last thoughts?
So I might as well just finish the final experience of when you make love on the throat.
Ah, okay.
So we spoke
Oral.
about heart. Well, yeah, that could be part of it. Oral experiences, part of it. But
you don't know what oral sex is?
Yes.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay. I'm sorry, go ahead.
So on that level, it's very mystical. It's like merging. It's almost like supernatural. It's like two of you are just floating together. It's a different kind of.
Are you okay?
I'm okay.
So that kind of connection, that's where we ultimately want to get to, right? And that's where a very small percentage actually of couples experience. We don't consider anything above throat chakra sexual anymore.
So it ends at the throat.
That's where that Kundalini energy comes in, and that's where enlightenment happens.
Okay.
So that's where we stop.
Can you talk about crying? That was my question. That's my final thought. When you're actually having a really powerful sexual experience, some women will cry, and for a lot of men, that can be scary. Can you talk about that?
It's all about holding space. Again, talking to a partner and trusting, because especially when you start practicing this kind of sex, you will have emotions, men and women, and you should be okay with that. Holding space for someone, and knowing what are you going to do when I experience that.
Right.
Are you gonna freak out?
I've had that happen to me.
A lot of women cry afterwards.
No, I
with
cried
me.
during. Oh,
Yes,
they cried after
and,
with you.
and my friends told me that that's because they thought that they made a mistake. But I like
Are
to
they
think,
crying because it's over?
Nice, thank you, co-host. Thank
You
you.
ask for final thoughts.
Well, thank you very much, the two of you.
Yes. So, and what I want to add also
Yes,
is
please.
both feminine and masculine are beautiful
Absolutely.
polarities. And what we want is we want to have harmony. We need the yang and we need the yin and energy. And both men and women can rule the world. No one is superior or
Nope.
inferior to
And
one
there should
another.
never be any power
No.
struggle in a relationship.
No.
If there's a power struggle, there's something wrong. You have to address it. You have to work on that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I think we're almost up. You know what? I'll never know. Well, thank you everyone for watching the show. Please leave some comments below. Contact us if you have any questions. Also, if you are a swinger or you're in an open relationship. No, I'm not going to do that, but I want to hear your feedback on your thoughts. Thank you so much, Irina, for being here. Thank you very much. And thank you for co-hosting.
Thank you for having
I
me.
may invite you back
I would love to.
after I review the tape.
It's a pleasure being here.
Thank you so much. And I don't know if we're still going.